Hello everyone, my name is James Kihara, a student at the Institute of Regional Integration Development at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa. And as part of this week's theme, EAC and the Youth, I have two guests with me today, Stanley, a 33-year-old entrepreneur, and Rachel, a 23-year-old student. And this 10-year gap will be able to show us the experience of which these two different youths can have. So karibu sana.
Thank you.
So let's go right into the questions. Rachel, how did you learn about the EAC?
I first learned about the East African community in my coursework when a unit called the East African Community Law was introduced to me. And that is when I knew that I have rights beyond my nationality.
Oh, fantastic. And Stanley, how did you learn about the community?
I think I heard about it when I was younger. Back then there was no East Africa community, it was just coming up. But my experience with it has mostly been around professional or business and tourism. Yes.
Okay. And Stanley, just back to you again. Do you feel the youth have been properly involved in the activities of the community?
I feel like, as I speak for people who are of my age group, this is the late youth, if I can call it that. I think that they are involved, especially again in business and tourism. But I don't know that it is at the level that we would desire for them. I think that a lot of youth are still kind of, in blocks based in their countries. So I think it could be wider, but it's definitely there. Yeah.
Excellent. And what's your experience? Have the youth been involved?
Well, there hasn't been much that has been done, but we cannot go without acknowledging what the Ministry of the East African Community has come up with, a campaign to sensitize on the existence of a community in our region, and the campaign is called Ushirikiano Digital. So I think that is a brave step to take for people to know that there is a community.
All right. And Rachel, have you yourself participated in the campaign?
Yes, I have. In my school, we hosted EAC Week, which was a move by the 7 universities that are participating in the campaign. And I was able to participate in the East African community team, quiz, and we were 2 teams, and I'm glad to say that our team won.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Stanley, back to you. What do you think the ministry can do, maybe at the policy level, governance level, to ensure that the youth are involved in the activities of the community?
I think that I agree to Rachel's point about sensitization. I think that there should be campaigns whose goal is to make people aware of mainly, for me, I would say, the opportunities that are out there. Sometimes when we think of the East Africa community, we think a lot about the togetherness aspect. But for me, I think the thing that will cause a major shift is when we start talking about opportunities. So for the EAC ministers and for the policy makers, I would say sensitize people about the community, but also the opportunities available, and then go a step further and make those opportunities easy to access. For example, I've worked with companies that are based in Kigali, Kampala, Dar es Salaam, and that ease of transport, that I don't have to be asked for visas and all that, it actually makes my experience with the EAC community worthwhile, and I want to engage, and I start thinking more broadly about my business, not just being here in Kenya or even just Nairobi, but also what are the other places I can go to with this passport that I have.
That's great. Rachel, what do you think?
I think laws have been made, but the implementation is the problem. I think that once implementation is done, then those opportunities will definitely come. Opportunities in like the Common Market Protocol and even the treaty, that I have a right to residence in another country, I have the right to labor without discrimination of whether I'm a nationality, I'm a citizen of that country. I think once we start implementing these laws, then these opportunities will definitely open up.
To some extent, I wish that the EAC, as a community or even as an organization, I wish they had like a marketing department, because I think that they are doing a good job in, as Rachel says, the laws and the protocols. But to understand that for the normal person like me, I don't know much about laws and protocols. What I know is the actual effect on the ground, and if they can have some sort of marketing team that then translates what those laws and protocols means for normal people like me, I think that will go a long way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Rachel, what do you think the youth themselves can do to make sure that they actively participate in the activities of the East African community?
I think the youth need to go deeper and realize what the laws have to offer, what the policies have to offer, and explore beyond. Let us not only sing the song of there are no jobs in Kenya, there are no jobs in my partner state, yet I have an opportunity to explore out there.
Okay. Stanley, you take?
I think that people should start becoming way more proactive than they are, and that, from my perspective, I believe takes courage. Courage to say, I'm going to expand my business out of Kenya and into TZ, to UG and other partner states. The courage to go and look for jobs out there, and perhaps even the courage to go and marry people from those other countries. The courage to kind of accept different cultures.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I would say. A big chunk of courage, and then follow up with the money aspect. Let's put money into our partner states, and by that I mean let's invest in businesses that are more regional than just than just domestic or local. Those are the two things I would say the youth can do.
Great. So Stanley, your parting shot.
Yeah. I think that my parting shot is, number one, to the leaders within the EAC community, to try and translate for people, okay, to move beyond protocols and laws and translate that to the people, to the normal people. How can I take action on this? And not to leave it to the people to assume that they will know. So people will just continue to live their lives until these opportunities are presented for them. And on the youth side, my parting shot to them is, again, be courageous, stretch beyond your borders, and understand in reality our borders are now much wider than we initially thought because of the community.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Rachel?
My parting shot will be, as youth, just like Stanley has said, let us go beyond our limits. And also, for our leaders, let us make sure that our national laws are not in conflict with the community laws, because that acts as a barrier to those opportunities that the laws and the policies have offered to us. So let our laws conform with the community laws.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you. And like we've seen, audience, two youths, different ages, different experiences, but we can see that their goals are aligned, and I think we'll have a very interesting EAC if Stanley and Rachel are involved. So thank you all, and we'll see you next time.